So a few months ago, I asked my girlfriend if there was one muscle I could grow to enhance my physique, what would you pick? Here's what she said.
Your shoulders, like the width. I feel like it's more like manly. It just looks good to me.
Okay, you got it. But there's a problem. So you know how some guys are just naturally blessed with a broad frame? Yeah, that wasn't me. I'm not trying to blame it on genetics, but how many Filipinos have you seen with a superhero frame? We're small boned and thin, so I knew this would be a challenge. But with 5 simple tweaks to my training, here's where I'm at now. And I'll be honest, my shoulders have never looked better. A lot of you guys have noticed the gains as well. Here's exactly what I did. So the first tweak has to do with exercise selection. While the front delts and rear delts are helpful to build overall shoulder mass, the key to getting wider, broader shoulders from the front and back view is to grow the side delts. And there's a lot of new exciting research I use to help pick the best side delt exercises. For example, as some of you may have seen in my past shoulder experiment video, we tested 17 shoulder exercises to see which ones best activated the 3 different regions of the shoulder. Although shoulder presses did activate the side delts quite well, they mainly activate and grow the front delts. What I needed was an exercise that activated only the side delts really well and wasn't as fatiguing on the body. So what came out on top? Lateral raises. But I didn't just do your typical lateral raise. You see, there's been a lot of new research on muscle stretch and how it can help you build muscle faster. I've covered this in a past video that goes through this research in depth that I'll link below. But basically, some muscles seem to grow faster during exercises that challenge them the most when they're fully stretched. Although it hasn't been shown with the delts quite yet, it seems very likely that they would benefit as well. The problem with your typical dumbbell lateral raise, however, is they're hardest at the top when the shoulder is fully contracted, the opposite of what we're looking for. So my secret weapon was this exercise, behind the body cable lateral raises. I stand in front and slightly to the side so my delt is fully stretched and challenged the most when in this position. Next up, training volume. The shoulders seem to recover really fast. Some research also suggests they don't get as sore as easily as other muscles like the chest, legs, and arms do. However, there is a limit to how much you should train them. Generally, research suggests it takes muscles around 36 to 48 hours to fully recover. This would mean if you wanted to maximize growth, you could train the same muscle up to a max of about 3 or 4 times a week before it would likely become too much to recover from. So, what did I do? Well, I definitely could have bumped it up to 3 times a week, but twice a week fit my workout routine better and still worked incredibly well, especially because of the other tweaks you'll learn about. Now as for actual volume, on one day I do 4 sets of the dumbbell lateral raise, either standing or on a bench, and then a few days later I train them again with another 4 sets but using the cable lateral raise that I mentioned earlier. Now I know what some of you may be thinking, only 8 sets a week? Honestly guys, 8 sets was all it took to grow my shoulders, but only because of the next tweaks that I applied. The next tweak has to do with weight. There's a unique feature about lateral raises that most people overlook. You see, the further away a weight is from your body, the heavier it will feel. This is what makes even a really light weight feel extremely heavy during lateral raises. For me personally, as soon as I try to go anywhere above 35-pound dumbbells, I start to cheat way too much. To avoid this, I took advantage of the fact that research suggests you can use a light weight and do up to 30 reps with it before it becomes too light and less effective for growth. So to apply this, I'd stick with the same weight, and only once I could do at least 15 to 20 reps with good controlled form on all my sets would I then jump up by another 5 pounds and repeat the process. But guys, do not rush this. In the past 3 months, my lateral raises have increased only by about 5 pounds and just 1 notch heavier on the cable machine. Now, although it doesn't sound like much, that's almost a 20% jump in weight, the equivalent to adding over 20 pounds to the average person's bench press. And if you don't sacrifice form, you can be fairly confident that the increase in strength is indeed from your shoulders getting bigger. In fact, take a look at Mashud here. He's one of our Built with Science program members who applied a similar plan. And you can see just how much wider his shoulders are after just 3 months. Next, intensity. Honestly, this is a tweak that I think made the biggest difference. I'm not gonna lie, as much as I love wide shoulders, I hate lateral raises. The burn is disgusting and very uncomfortable. But here's the thing. One study from back in 2012 showed that in order for the side delts to reach full muscle activation during lateral raises, subjects had to push to at least within around 3 to 5 reps short of complete failure. That's just activation though. To maximize growth, plenty of research suggests each of your sets need to be taken to at least within 3 reps of complete failure. Problem is, I guarantee that during your lateral raises, many of you are stopping well short of this. Heck, even me, someone who's been training for years, as soon as I told myself I was going to start really pushing through my mental limits, I was instantly able to get about 5 more reps on lateral raises compared to when I'd usually stop. Trust me, even if you think you're done and even if your shoulders are burning, you still got more. As Muhammad Ali once said, I only start counting when it starts hurting because they're the only ones that count. That's what makes you a champion, and that couldn't be more true here. The last piece of advice is the most important. It has to do with my diet. While some people might be able to build a little bit of muscle when in a calorie deficit or even at their maintenance calories, a recent meta-analysis suggests that a calorie surplus is likely necessary to maximize growth. And for those following me on Instagram, you know I've been bulking for almost a year now. I've been eating a lot of pasta, potatoes, rice, beef, and high-calorie foods in general to make sure I'm consistently eating in a calorie surplus. I'm not gonna lie, it's been mentally tough seeing more and more fat gain over the months, but I've noticed a big difference in my muscle size. I guarantee if I applied all the training tweaks I went through, yet I wasn't in a surplus, sure I might have seen some improved definition, but I wouldn't have seen any big difference in new muscle size or strength. And once I diet to lose the excess fat I put on during the bulk, I guarantee that the shoulder gains I've made will become even more noticeable. So if you truly want to make noticeable new muscle gains, make sure you're eating enough.